week on Minute with Meghan, I am fortunate to have Jonathan Cullen, the General Counsel of Pfizer, with us here today. And Jonathan and I have had a little bit of back and forth on a really interesting topic. We discussed an interesting approach to legal advice that you can use called principle-based advice. So maybe, can you tell us about what that is, Jonathan?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Meghan. For us, principle-based advice is something that we're experimenting a little bit with at Pfizer to up the game, I'd say, on our legal advice on how do we provide our organization something that takes it to the next level. And Pfizer really encourages colleagues to experiment to make innovation a priority. So in a nutshell, it's effectively scaling legal advice. It's ensuring that for each legal issue, there isn't one piece of advice and one lawyer constantly on it. What it intends to do is, over time, remove ourselves from the activity that we were there for in the first place. So, for example, a colleague or a client comes to us, legal problem A. Normally, I would give legal advice A to solve that problem, and client walks away happy. Everyone's happy. Problem here is, what happens when problem B comes? They need me again. I haven't taught them anything, and it continues, and there's no scaling. So the principle-based advice approach is we provide a principle in response to problem A that hopefully helps the client solve problem A, but also looks towards the future a little bit to problems B, C, and D that maybe we're not even aware of yet, that the client can use principles to try to solve themselves. So, what are the benefits for that? Obviously, more autonomy for our clients. Hopefully that means increase in sophistication. And if I'm doing that, I'm helping the entire business elevate the game, become a more valuable organization, more sophisticated consumers of legal services, and really just sort of changing how we think about issues. And something that we try to avoid is doing it too quickly, scaling too quickly. Either your client's not quite ready for it, the issue's too big, too complex, or frankly, some issues aren't worth it. They're too small. So if you hit this sort of Goldilocks sweet spot, you don't abandon your client. You check in on how they're doing with the principle you've provided. You choose the issues wisely, start slow. And really one key is you discuss when there's mistakes. If there's a screw up or you wish you'd sort of given a wider or narrower principle, go back and talk to them about it. So for us, that's something that we're experimenting with. We tried a little bit in Canada, which is where I operate. And then now we're sort of working with with colleagues around the world at the Pfizer organization and really trying to experiment in many different markets with it.
No, that's great. Incredibly insightful. So it seems that you want to educate and grow your clients so that you can tackle larger issues down the line. I think that's fantastic. And it's certainly a value added from your team. Way to be innovative on that front.
Thank you, Meghan.
My pleasure. Well, that's it for today. And thank you again for your time, Jonathan.